Welcome everyone. Today we are exploring front-end development, the exciting world of building what users see and interact with the websites. By the end of this session, so you will understand fundamentals and you know exactly how to start your journey. Let's begin. So what is front-end development? Front-end development is creating the visible interactive part of websites and web applications. So everything you see right now on your screen, buttons, text, images, menus, was built by front-end developers. So four key aspects are here. So first one is user-facing layer. Everything visible in the browser, buttons you click, forms you fill, menus you navigate. So those are all we call it as user facing layer. Okay. So next one is visual layout. So it is how content is organized on the page with a proper spacing and hierarchy. Okay. So next point is UI and UX. So user interface, how it looks combined with the user experience, how it works and feels. So this is the third aspect. And one more is built with the code. Three languages power this. HTML creates structure, CSS and style. JavaScript enables interaction. Okay, let's move on next topic, how the web works. So let's understand what happens when you visit a website. Okay, so the first point is when you enter a URL, you type a web address like google.com or click a link. Okay, so that is your URL. Okay, so next step, what it will do, browser sends a request. Okay, so your browser sends a request, so asking server for the web page. Okay, so that is the second step. So next third step is server responding for your request. Okay, the server sends back the three types of files: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, so this is the third one. So next one is fourth step, the browser renders page. Okay, so here what happens, your browser reads the file and it displays the page visually. So visually how it looks. Okay, so whatever the response you get from the server, so how it is rendered, the server response, and it make you to understand. Okay, so understanding way it will display to you. So the final step is JavaScript adds the interaction. So scripts run on to enable animations, button clicks and dynamic features. So this happens in a milliseconds. As a front-end developer, you create those HTML, CSS, JavaScript files, right? So let's move on. So next, the three core technologies you are using in your websites. So these are three core technologies: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so first is the HTML. So which is the main structure for a web page. Okay, so the skeleton, it defines what content appears, headings, paragraphs, images. Like HTML uses like header, paragraph, image, tags. Okay, so next part is CSS. So CSS is a main aspect style. Okay, so style means the appearance. It controls colors, fonts, spacing and layouts. Okay, CSS makes websites beautiful and responsive across devices. So next is JavaScript. So JavaScript means behavior. So behavior means the interactivity. It handles clicks, updates content without reloading, content animations and creates animations, and it connects to servers. Okay, so this is the main aspect of JavaScript. So think of it this way: HTML is the skeleton, CSS is the clothing and the appearance, JavaScript is the movement and intelligence. Okay, so this way these three works on the web page. Okay. So next, briefly understand about what is HTML, CSS and JavaScript one by one. So let's move on to HTML. So HTML is a structure. So HTML structure every web page using a tag elements. Okay. So it gives a page structure. So page structure contains semantic tags like header, uh, header, main, and footer organizes the content logically. Okay, so this helps both humans and search engines understand your page. Okay, so next one is elements and tags. So container tags like division, section, to group the related content together. Okay, so content types are HTML handles the forms, user inputs, so like images, okay, audios, videos. So each has its own tag. So example h1 for main headings, paragraph for paragraph, image img tag for images, and a tag is the anchor text. So we will learn those tags in the next brief out about html. So in html classes we will learn all these tags step by step. So those tags we are using in the content representations. Okay, so these are all the things we are learning in the html. Okay, so next move on to the css. So in the css we are using it is for styling purpose, right? So the style layer, css transforms plain html into visually appealing designs. So CSS transforms your plain HTML into visually appealing designs, right? So it uses the colors and fonts for styling your content. So define the color palette and typography to create visual hierarchy and brand identity. So next one is modern layouts. So these modern layouts like flex boxes, grids, and powerful CSS tools that create responsive layouts and adapting to any screen size. Okay, so this we call it as a responsive design. Okay, so next one is responsive design. So responsive design means media queries, so and adjust styling based on device. So your site looks perfect on phones, tablets, desktops. So about your different systems are having different screen sizes, right? So for that different screen sizes, so it will automatically adjust because of this responsive design. Okay, so next part is utility first frameworks. So these frameworks like tailwind css provides the ready-made style classes, so speeding up development significantly. So for that reason we are using the frameworks. Okay, so next part we are going to understand brief out about javascript. Okay, so javascript bringing pages to life. Okay, so javascript makes websites interactive. So interactivity creates buttons, clicks, or form validation, smooth animation. Okay, so and transitions. So next one is event handling. So event handling means it responds to user actions, clicks, scrolls, keyboard typing, mouse movements. These are all comes under event handlings. Okay, so next one is dynamic content. So dynamic content means it updates the page content instantly without refreshing, or show or hide the elements, or create the interactive components. So these are all dynamic contents. So next one is API communication. So API communication means it fetches the data from servers in the background and submit forms without page reload, integrate external services like payment systems, modern web apps, feel fast and responsive because of JavaScript. Okay, so next is the popular front-end frameworks. Okay, the popular front-end frameworks we are using in a front-end development. So using the frameworks, uh, the speed of the development with a pre-built components. So it is the best practices to developers nowadays. Okay, so the first framework is React. So it is created by Facebook and built reusable components and complex UIs efficiently. Okay, so it is a huge job market demand in the market presently. It is having the huge job opportunities if you learn React. So in front end development, so it's good, you will get a good job opportunity. So next is the Angular. Angular is developed by Google, complete solution with everything built in, routing, forms, and HTTP tools preferred for large enterprise applications also, because it is having a dependency injection concept. For that reason, it can be used as a enterprise application. Okay, so next one is Vue.js. So it is beginner friendly but had powerful tool, and a clean syntax, excellent documentation, easy to learn, great for both small and large projects also. Okay. So each has its own strengths. Choose based on your project requirements, needs, and learning goals. Okay. So no one is bad, no one is good. So everything has its own perspective. Okay. So based on your project requirements, you are going to choose the tool. That's it. Okay. So next, what are all the essential tools we need to use for this front end development? Okay, so the professional developer uses these tools daily. So the first one, VS Code. VS Code means Visual Studio Code. I think you have seen. So it is free and powerful code editor with extensions, debugging, Git integration also available. So next one is Git and GitHub. So it is a version control tool to track code changes, collaborate with the teams, and showcase projects. Okay. So next one is Chrome Dev Tools. So it press F12 in Chrome to inspect elements, debug JavaScript, and test performances. You can see in your web browser, because whenever you see the output in the browser only. Okay. So there you can modify your code with the inspect element. Okay, so that is also very important tool you should know in the front end development. So next one is npm rr. So it is a package managers that install and manage code libraries automatically. It is mainly used for JavaScript. So JavaScript, we have used the Node.js package manager, so that will manages the advanced libraries. Okay, so next one is a Tailwind CSS utility framework. It is for rapid and maintainable styling with a CSS. These tools are industry standard. These tools, all tools are industry standards, and learn them early. So as much as possible, you all learn these things. Okay, so these are the main important things you are learning in your coding when we start with the front end development. So that time we introduce one by one. So let us move on the front end career path. So here you will have the career opportunities. So first one is front end developer. So you will become a front end developer, build user interfaces for web applications. So UI developer also implements precise design with advanced CSS. So next, web designer, combined design and coding skills also required. So here it will create complete experiences. So if you learned all these things, you will become a front-end developer, UI developer, and web designer. Okay, so let's getting started with the things. So first you will masters with the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript through hands-on practice. Build small projects daily. So next, learn a framework, pick React and Tailwind CSS, high demand in market. So next one is you are going to learn build real projects, create a portfolio website, and to do applications or weather application, showcase actual work, not just a tutorial. Okay, join communities, connect with the developers, contribute to open source, or follow industry content, keep learning continuously. Okay, so we have covered front end fundamentals. So what is how the web works, and the three core technologies, framework tools, and career paths. Okay, so everything starts as a beginner. Start small, practice consistently, build real projects. So your journey begins with a single line of code. Start today, stay curious, and keep building. Thank you for joining, and happy coding.